I just want to talk about nanotechnology today, which would seem to be a bit of a diversion from the typical food stuff that you guys are talking about, but it's not as far away as you might think. Nanotechnology has been a technology that's been around for about 30 years. And it's the science of really small particles. So think about the human hair, for those of you that have them anyway. Think about those and how small they are in diameter. Well, a nanoparticle typically is about 1/1000th the diameter of the human hair. So very, very small particles. About 7 or 8 years ago, our chief scientist, Anton Kornevsky, was working at the University of Guelph, and he discovered that there's a natural source of nanotechnology that's been right under our noses for a long time that nobody knew about. And that is that you can extract a very high quality nanotechnology and nanoparticle from sweet corn. Ontario grown sweet corn of all things. And Ontario grown sweet corn not only produces these nanoparticles, it produces them in very, very large amounts. So Anton and his supervisor, John Dutcher, who's shown up here, were able to discover a methodology by which they could remove those nanoparticles from the sweet corn and produce the world's first nanomaterial that's edible. Edible, safe, non-toxic, water-soluble, and has a whole raft of applications in a wide variety of industries. I'm going to touch a little bit later, just a little bit on some of the things we're doing in the food and nutrition space, but I'll also share with you a few of the other really exciting things that we're doing with this nanotechnology that we think will allow Mirexus to become a very large organization in the Guelph area in the not-too-distant future. So this is what the material actually looks like when you extract it from corn. It's a pretty benevolent-looking white powder, although I can tell you it's not a good idea to leave this in your briefcase when you're traveling to the U.S. So just trust me on that one, go do it. So this is what the material looks like. It's a beautiful white material. Looking at it under a microscope, you can see all these beautiful little particles. And one of the unique features of the particles is they're all exactly the same. They're all the same size and they're all the same shape. And those properties together allow the material to have a whole bunch of very interesting properties that can be used in a wide variety of industries. And as I mentioned, by the way, people ask me all the time, how can you be sure that this nano stuff is safe and natural? So we conducted an experiment. Last year we had 300,000 tons of this material eaten by people, all of us here. Because if you've ever eaten sweet corn, and I bet living in Southern Ontario you have, you're eating a large amount of this material. Some varieties of sweet corn, the most common kinds that you can buy off the back of a local farmer's pickup truck, will have as much as 40% by weight of the dry material in sweet corn is actually this nanomaterial. And nobody knew it was there. It's amazing. So we're targeting 3 huge markets. The first one is cosmetics. We're already in that market. We've launched last year. We now have a number of customers, and we're about to sign, we hope, global distribution agreements to use our material on a wide variety of cosmetics products. Things like skin creams, skin health. The little materials are really good at promoting skin cell health and potentially an anti-aging as well, which is a really hot thing for all of us who are getting older and older. As time goes along, anti-aging is a big market and growing very quickly. The holy grail of pharmaceuticals for a long time of nanomaterials has been pharmaceuticals, drug delivery, new antibiotics, and immunomodulation. I'm going to talk a little bit about how that all works in a couple of slides, but there's huge promise for the use of nanotechnology in this space. And then finally, food and nutrition. So our little particles are really good at stabilizing and solubilizing active ingredients. So think about vitamins and minerals and all those other wonderful things that you want to have. In many cases, natural ingredients like vitamins are not very stable and often not very bioavailable. So it turns out that when you associate them with these safe natural nanomaterials, you can make them more bioavailable and more stable. So we've now launched, taken Mirexus and broken it up into 3 companies. The first company is actually called Mirexus Inc., and it focuses on the cosmetic space. We've launched our products. Sorry, this went way out. We've launched our product now in 5 different countries, and this year we're going to see rapid growth of the material in the skincare space, mostly as a moisturizer. That's going to be the first market, and then the second market is going to be anti-aging. I want to talk a little bit about the pharmaceutical space. So what you can do with these little particles is you can take a drug, think cancer treatment. You know, and one of the big problems with cancer treatment is that the drugs, there's lots of drugs that will kill cancer cells, but unfortunately they're also toxic to the rest of your healthy cells. So what you can do, and we've demonstrated this already, is you can attach the drug to a particle. You can inject those particles. And what's really cool is these nanoparticles will concentrate in the cancer cells specifically, rather than in the whole body. So now you've got the drug exactly where you want it. The neat thing about our natural material, and this is different than all the other nanotechnology that's out there, is our material naturally releases the drugs because we have the right enzymes already in our bodies to be able to do that. So now the drug is released, but it's in the cancer cells. The drug will then kill the disease cells, and the really cool part is when it's all said and done, the little nanoparticles will be consumed by the body because the particles are made from glycogen. Glycogen is a natural energy source. We already have glycogen in our bodies, and our bodies use it as a natural source of energy. In the food space, we created a new company called Fortis Ingredients, focused on three key things. As I mentioned earlier, we can help to stabilize and solubilize key ingredients. So think about things like lycopene and curcumin, which are big ingredients in the nutrition space these days. They're natural materials, but they have the problem that they're generally not soluble in water, so not very bioavailable. And they're also generally not stable. And so we can both solve those problems with our material. And in addition to that, we discovered that our nanoparticles are a wonderful source of energy for endurance athletes. And so within the next year or so, we expect to see the launch of a whole series of new products in the sports nutrition space as a result. So in summary, I just wanted to let you know that this material is out there. We've entered the market in cosmetics. We're about to enter it in food and nutrition and pharmaceutical in a few years' time.